Hello and welcome to English Chinese Characters. This is episode 7 of compilation 1. And today we have a really good lesson because you're learning a lot. You're going to have a lot more to write with, but it's also really easy because we're just sort of reinventing characters you've already learned. So we're going to start with the character for me. So it's going to be the same as the character for I, but we're just going to draw an L on the left and bottom periphery of the character. That's what's going to make it inflected for me. Now, if we were going to use my, as in my cat, my car, my computer, my is going to just have the periphery on the other side. It's going to be a backwards L. And the logic behind this is that, meanness or me, I view it as more like my core. It's me. It's what I am. So it sort of starts. It's something you sort of fall back into. Whereas my is something outside of me. It's over there. It's forward. It's outside. It's beyond. So that's maybe a good way to help you remember which shape to use, right? Okay, great. So the way I'm structuring this is by having the direct object word on the left. Me is on the left, and I'm having the possessive pronoun on the right. So my would be on the right. And you can just sort of compare them that way. And we're going to string through them all like that. The next character we're going to learn is the characters for him and his. So him is on the left, his is on the right, right? I see him, I see his car, right? Pretty simple. Remember, there's a person radical in there. You can see it. And the only difference between he and she, of course, is the radical. So now we're going to do the form of she being her. And that one is going to have the periphery on the left and bottom. I only drew one character here because though you're more than welcome to make the possessive her with the backwards L. Because it's the same sound in English, her, I don't think it's necessary. It would be clear. At the same time, it's a stylistic choice. You very well can. I'm just sort of like leaving it out here to make a point that it's not super crucial. But you're more than welcome to. Maybe that's what, if this ever took off, maybe that's what would become dominant. Maybe not. I have no idea. But I think it would be acceptable if you use this her to also mean the possessive, right? Because it's just one less character. Why do we need to make 100 million characters, right? Let's make it as, efficient as we can, maybe. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, great. So that's her. The next character we're going to learn is the character for us and our. So again, it's that new character we made. So it's character for I with the sort of door around it. Don't forget that dot. There's that new dot on the top left. And then we just encase it with the L. And again with our, as in our food, our closet, that would be on the right. Okay, very good. The next character we're learning is the character for them and also their, right? So again, you're taking the newly formed character for they that we learned last time. Remember, this one has a fuller door. It actually has the components added to it. It's actually more than what you add to with we, and I did that just for the beauty of the character. So yeah, pretty simple. Them, their, and just to sort of give you a taste, if we were going to make this theirs, as in it is theirs, we would just combine these two structures, and it would be like a peninsula encasement, a three-walled square with the top open. So that would be mine, or yours, or hers, or again, there's a conflict with his, but that would be the way we would do that. We're not going to get too into that today, but I'm just letting you know. Okay, great. The next character we're learning is the character for with. And this is how you draw with, as in I go with her. The part on the left is actually a radical for foot. So you can think of it as, when you go with someone, you're going by foot with them typically, right? So very good. That's with. Now we've come to your first sentence. Can you read it? I see us. I see us. Very, very good. And what about this? Do you see them? Do you see them? Very good. What about this? I see him with her. I see him with her. And now what about this? I see her with him, right? What about this? I see their children, right? The possessive is marked by the L on the right. Very good. Now what about this new character? It's kind of simple to draw, and that's good because it's an important word. This is the word for give. And the part on the left, the 3 strokes, right? You see the sort of like L, L, and then line underneath it. That represents silk. That's the silk radical. So you could think about giving someone silk. That's a very nice gesture, right? The next character we're going to learn is, it should look familiar because we learned a radical that looks like a variation of this. It's the character for hand, right? And it kind of looks like a hand standing up, like stop, hand. And the next character we're going to learn is the character for book. This one, it's pretty simple. Kind of looks like, I think, maybe books that are like lined up on a bookshelf, like there's one book and then there's a book behind it, or the line could be like what do you call the bind of the book, right? Something like that. So it's book. The next character we're going to learn has a radical we just learned. What is that radical on the top? It's the radical for bamboo, right? It's the bamboo radical. And the one below it, it kind of looks like hand, right? It's just a little backwards. So you can think about, like, you hold a pen with your hand, and a pen would be made of bamboo. Just be careful because that's like a backwards hand. It's not like a true hand radical. It's a little different. But yeah, that's a good way to remember pen. Okay, we have a few more sentences. Can you read this one? It says, give us your book. Give us your book. What about this one? She hands her a pen. She hands her a pen. Now, it's keen to note that I might change the character for, like if it were a verb, to hand, we might just change that. Maybe we'll use a Chinese character that means to hand. So this is not like the definitive end-all of what the system will be. We're just sort of playing around with it. And even if we chose another character to represent the verb hand, not only through typos, but also just through style, we could choose to do this, right? This is a system of choice in a way. I don't want it to be, this is correct, this is wrong. Obviously, there will be some of that. You can't use the character for cat to mean, hat, but I want people to have options because I think when you have options, your writing will be more fun. The next sentence is this. What does this say? Please give me a hand. Please give me a hand. Right? Please help me. Please give me a hand. And now we're going to learn one more new character. It's actually, we're combining it with the character for you that we already know. So this means thank you. Thank you. Right? So the character on the left means thank. And you'll notice that there is that torch that we learned, that radical for words. Okay? And then next to it is actually a radical for body. So you see that sort of, it has like an eye kind of. We learned the eye, right? The box with the square in the middle. That's eye. But this is a full body, right? It has a little hair on top of it. It has these legs. So, you're thanking someone. When you thank someone, you use your body, right? Thank you, or whatever you do. So great. Thank you. What about this? What does this say? Of course, this says thanks, right? This is the short version. Thanks. So now we've come to the part of our lesson where we have an actual Chinese sentence. Can you decipher it? If we were reading this in English Chinese characters, we would read, I give you one something, book something. I give you one book, right? Remember that a character after a number is often going to be a counter, so you can disregard it. It's sort of meaningless, right? So I just give you one book. And the last character, it actually represents like a completed action. It can have different meanings, but it often means a completed action. So it's sort of the equivalent of the past tense in Chinese. So then, if we were going to write the actual English sentence equivalent to this Chinese sentence, it would look like this. Now, you'll notice the upside down L on the left, that's going to be the periphery we use for the past tense. We're going to use it for irregulars like give, gave, but we're also going to use it for regular verbs that just keep the one syllable structure, like kick, kicked, right? Kicked is not two syllables, so kicked would also have this inflection. Whereas two syllable words are going to end up using that same character we just saw in the Chinese sentence. That's going to be the ed in painted, right? Because it's two syllables, painted. So that was a complex lesson. Really practice all those, and we're really getting close to the time we're going to read whole conversations and try and decipher longer Chinese texts. So keep at it. All right, see you next time.